Yep.
General Electric preparing to sell off large parts of its company after struggling to recover from cutting its dividend. Right now, the stock is up 1.25%, but with so many pieces to divest, even though they're the leader on the Dow Jones Industrials today, they're going to need the help of a few external advisors. And those people obviously want to get paid, but one of them may be an executive who used to work for GE. They used to call him Little Jack, as opposed, Charlie Gasparino, to Big Jack Welch.
Well, Big Jack Welch, his mentor was Bob Nardelli's mentor was Jack Welch. As you know, Bob Nardelli lost out to Jeff Immelt to run GE back in 2000. It was one of the biggest horse races for a CEO ever at the time. When it came down to it, it was Jay McInerney, Jeff Immelt, Bob Nardelli in the running. Jack Welch picked Immelt, and the rest is history, including the fact that right now GE is in some pretty tough times, as you know, with the stock price and the current CEO. John Flannery looking to sell off major pieces of the company because it's unclear if the conglomerate in its current state can be profitable or profitable enough, and they have lots of accounting issues and a whole raft of stuff we're not going to get into here. But here's what we heard. We've got Fox Business has learned that Nardelli has reached out to GE to help with this. It's kind of an unusual move because again he would be returning, but from what we understand, he has met and spoken with Ed Garden, who's on the board of directors of GE. He's a member of Trian Capital, the activist investor, which has a activist investor fund, which has a stake in the company and actually helped push out Jeff Immelt early. You know, Trian was behind that. And we understand Nardelli has met with him and basically said, listen, if you're looking to sell off pieces of the company, I know how to do that, and he does. He's, as according to Jack Welch, the best operational guy he's ever seen was Bob Nardelli. So there has been talks. It's unclear if they're going to ever offer him a job. I believe right now there is no role for Nardelli, what we're hearing from Trian, but you know the communications are open. And here's another interesting twist about Nardelli. And again, this could easily be titled Nardelli's Revenge, because I think Bob Nardelli was hurt when he didn't get the job. He believed that he was the best. Welch has told people he would have been well qualified for the job.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also, from what we understand, talking to private equity firms who are interested in buying some of these GE units that are for sale right now. You know, the transportation business is for sale, as we were talking earlier, that, you know, the numbers we keep hearing is that
isn't this his big bailiwick now? I mean, he's Cerberus. He's good at private equity. This is where he went.
Remember where Bob Nardelli, what he did right after he left GE, he worked for Home Depot, was the CEO of Home Depot. Yep. After he left Home Depot, he was working, he was a CEO of Chrysler, which was then owned by Cerberus, right, the big private equity fund. So he has a lot of connections in that private equity business where people are turning to him and saying, well, how much are these units that GE is looking for sale? How much are they worth? Is the transportation unit really worth $2.5 billion, which is one of the price tags we keep hearing? And Nardelli is weighing in on that. And the other thing he's weighing in on is he is offering his help. From what I understand, he basically said, listen, you bring me in, I'll bring in a bunch of former executives, and we can help fix this place because it needs a lot of operational fixing, including paring down the company, maybe selling off all the units, maybe not selling. You know, one of the things Flannery is looking at is selling, you know, all the separate units into private companies. I mean, that's a pretty drastic breakup of GE, and it's going to be very hard to do. So Nardelli is there. He is pushing for this. No role for him yet, but he keeps pushing. And, you know, like I said, from an operational standpoint, and this company desperately needs an operational guy, a guy that knows businesses granular from the bottom up. According to Jack Welch, he's the best operational guy ever. He's probably a guy you want to see in there. We can only report that he's offering himself up, and he's talking to private equity. What we hear right now, there's no role for him, but he is offering himself.
You know,
Liz?
it would be really fascinating if that
comes
to...
Nardelli's Revenge.
He wanted it so many years ago.
I know.
You know, eventually he might get it. Charlie, great.